Welcome to the Better and Longer podcast. This is Justin Moor, the host. We are glad today to have with us Mother Ernestine, and she is the world's oldest female bodybuilder. Welcome, Mother Ernestine. Thanks for being with us today.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
So, world's oldest female bodybuilder, is that a label that you thought when you were growing up, when you were in your 20s, 30s, that would be something that applied to you, or a label that one day you would be honored with?
I had no such idea. If anyone had told me that as a youngster, I would have said no. And then also, I would have no reason to even think of being a bodybuilder or anything, because I didn't do any type of exercise.
So what got you into exercise? Talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Now you really have me going. At age 56, my sister was 57 and I was 56. And we were invited to a church picnic. And we were told that we could wear bathing suits because we could go swimming. Well, my sister and I hadn't had a bathing suit on in years. So we went to purchase these bathing suits. We put them on, and my sister's name was Velvet. Velvet looked over at me and began laughing. I said, "Well, you don't look so good, so don't be laughing at me." She said, "Well, take your suit off, and I'm going to take mine off. And we are getting out of here because we cannot go anywhere looking like this in a bathing suit." So we left. We went to the church picnic, and we were sitting there, and we heard ladies stating that they had gone to a certain place to exercise. So Velvet said, she called me Teeny. Velvet said, "Teeny, listen, you and we must go to this place and exercise." I said, "Okay." So we went. It was Coppin College. We went there, and we started exercising, and we really enjoyed it. And then after that, the trainer said, "You ladies need to start lifting weights." So we did. So anyway, we left from there because we felt that we needed more, because being at the college, you only exercise there once a week. So then we ended working out with a guy named Raymond Day. And we worked out with him, and it was really a joy. You want to hear some more of that?
I want to hear some more of that.
All right. So it was really a joy. So Velvet said, "I know what I want to do. I want to become a bodybuilder, and I want to train other ladies after I become a bodybuilder to live a healthy, happy, positive, confident lifestyle by exercise." And I said, "Well, go on. That's what you want to do, do it." So we kept on working out. So finally one day, she kept telling me she was having problems. And I said, "Well, if you're having all of these problems, you should go to the doctor." I said, "I'll take you." But anyway, I didn't get there in time. My parents took her, and I met them at the doctor's, and they hadn't waited on her. I said, "We'd better get out of here and find another place to go." So we went to another hospital, and we went in, and they examined her. And what she had told me, that it felt like water was running in her ears, her head was aching, she couldn't see out of her eyes. So they examined her, and they said that she had a brain aneurysm, and that it had already burst. And the water that she thought was running in her ears, that was blood. And the headache, all of that, and from the eyes, all of that was from the aneurysm. So there wasn't much that they could do for her. So she died. And right then and there, I had begun crying, and I said, Now, what am I going to do? I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone at all. Well, she had said to me before we went into the hospital, she said, if anything were to happen to me, do you promise that you will continue what I started? So to keep her mouth quiet, I said, yes, I would do it. But I had no idea that she was going to die. So after that, I went home. I hated everybody. And then we had her funeral. And after the funeral, well, as I said, I hated everybody. I didn't come out the house. I didn't do anything. I just stayed there. But one day, I got up and I was walking down the street, and I saw where this church was having a revival service. So I said to myself, I'm going to go in there. And if these people get on my nerves, I'm just going to walk out. So I went in and sat on the very back pew. They were playing music. Gosh, people were getting up testifying. And then all of a sudden, the organist started playing a song. And it was a song that I would sing all of the time in church because I loved to sing. And the words were, "Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling through the night. I will go, Lord, where you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart." After that, I had begun crying, and something I had never ever done in church. I jumped up and I said, "Restore to me the joy of my salvation. Restore to me the joy of each new day. Give me back the love that I once had for you, and never, ever let me slip away." The people at the church asked me did I want to join their church. I told them no, because I was a member of a church and I was going to go back to my church. Then I started training with Raymond Day, and he took me to a bodybuilding show. And I was sitting in the audience, and I had on a one-piece outfit. And the man who was giving the bodybuilding show was the former Mr. Universe, Yanni Schamberger. He saw me sitting in the audience. He came out and he said, "Miss, may I ask you, would you mind presenting the trophies to my bodybuilders?" And I looked at him and I smiled and I said, "Yes, I don't mind getting up doing that." I got on the stage and I gave out the trophies. And after that, I told him I wanted to become a bodybuilder. He said, "That's wonderful, but if you want to become a bodybuilder, first I want you to go home, take pictures of yourself in a bathing suit and send them to me, and I'll see what kind of work I have to do." But then he said, "I already thought you were a bodybuilder because you looked so nice. That's why I asked you to come up and give out the trophies." So I went home. Raymond Day took pictures of me and by me working out with him. And then Yanni looked at the pictures, and then he sent a program home for me to do. and Raymond had me working on that program. And then after that, Yanni said, now I'm ready to train you. So he did. But you know one thing? I told you, at that time, my sister and I were working out. I was in my 50s. But by the time I got to Yanni, and by me being shut in the house so long, I was 70 years of age when I started actually working out very, very hard. Well, I was ready, and Yanni said, you have to get ready and do the bodybuilding show that I'm going to have. I said, really? Do you think I'm ready? He said, yes. So he took me to a place where I could get my suit and all of the things that I needed to participate in this show. Well, my husband came to the show, and he was very religious. And he was sitting out in the audience and had his hands folded like this. And I had on this suit, and I looked out there and saw him. And I said to Yanni, I can't go out there in this because he'll have a fit with me coming out in this skimpy suit. Yanni said, it's now or never. Well, they played the music. I strutted out there in my suit. And when I strutted out there in my suit, I forgot all about my husband sitting there. I did push-ups. I did all kinds of exercise routines. Then I did my poses. And after that, I went off the stage. And the people in the audience stood up and applauded. After everything was over and they had to pick who the winner was, guess who was the winner?
Yours truly, huh?
Yeah. And I stood there. I couldn't believe it. And I got my trophies. And from then on, I did, I don't know how many shows for him. But then Guinness Book of World Records heard about me. And they called Yanni. And they said to him, I think Miss Ernestine is the oldest female competitive bodybuilder in the world. And if so, we would like for her to come to Rome to get her certificate and her medals. Well, they called back and said that I was. I was 71 years of age, and we went to Rome. Wow, that was a joy. We got there. I had to put on my suit again. I had to do some lifting. I had to do some posing. I had so many things to do. Then I had to talk, and there were these men there who were bodybuilders, and they were humongous. And boy, they lifted me up off the floor, and I just laid out in their arms. I had a grand time. So after that, as I mentioned, I got my trophies, and we came home. When we returned home, we got a call from Ripley's Believe It or Not. They wanted me to come to New York because they wanted to do a story on me. We went to New York. Again, I had to wear an outfit to show my body. And when they saw me, they called me Granny Six-Pack. So I had to tell all of the things that I did. I had to do exercises, and that was just wonderful. After that, gosh, I got calls from I don't know how many people. I can't even remember all of them, but I know it was Steve Harvey. I got on his show. Gosh, oh, it was just wonderful. And I said to my sister, I said, Velvet, I'm doing what you wanted. I am being this bodybuilder that you wanted. And now I'm going to start training people. I started training people at the gym, and it was such a joy to have the opportunity to train people because that's what she wanted. And she said, what you have to do is to tell them first they have to pray. After they pray, then they have to learn how to eat correctly. Get out and walk. And then after getting out and walking, then you have to get them in and have them lifting weights. And that's what I did. I've been doing that for I know almost 30 years.
Wow.
And it has really been a joy. And I just can't stop helping people because that keeps me in a really good mood. And it makes me think about my sister Velvet. And I know I'm doing what she wanted. But you know, I would like for you to ask me some questions because I would like to answer some of your questions.
So, Mother Ernestine, how do you respond to somebody who might be listening to this and say to themselves, well, that's great for you, Mother Ernestine. You're 87, world's oldest female bodybuilder. That's great for you. But in a dismissive kind of way, not seeing how that should be an inspiration to them and how they should not let their own perception of themselves or somebody else's perception of themselves drive or kind of box them into who they perceive themselves to be today. But can you talk a little bit about what your message of motivation is to that individual that might hear what you're saying, be impressed by what you're saying, but not see it as being inspiration to them to live a better and longer life?
Well, first of all, I would tell that person, you need to exercise to be healthy. And if you don't do any type of exercising and you're constantly eating and not getting out, you may end up with heart trouble. You could end up with so many different things. And one thing certain, you need to have some type of mantra. And I would tell them, my mantra is determined, dedicated, disciplined to be fit. And if you use those 3 Ds concerning exercise, you would want to continue doing some type of exercise. And then plus, just think, after you get yourself in shape, look how you can help others. And again, it's important to really exercise.
So you're well known for your physical fitness and physical health. You've touched upon some other aspects of your being, right? Your spirituality and the connection between spirituality and physical fitness or physical well-being. Can you talk a little bit about the different aspects of your life? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and how you focus on those.
Let me tell you about my life. My husband and son were very, very proud of the things that I was doing. And I got the opportunity to talk to many, many people and help so many people who thought that they could never, ever get out and do any type of exercising. I had been married for, I would say, 60 some years.
Wow.
And my husband got sick. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get up and walk. He just had to lie in the bed. And he said to my son and to me that he wanted to stay home. He didn't want to go into the hospital. Could my son and could I take care of him by me exercising? Don't you know I was able to help get him out the bed, get him in the wheelchair, feed him, even bathe him? All of those things I was able to do. And I thanked the good Lord for having me to stick to exercising to help my husband live. He lived a happy life at home. I had a thing that I could put him in it and roll him up out the bed. I had the wheelchair. I had the stair lift, and it was a joy. But all good things must come to an end. 4 years ago, he died. And then after he died, that really upset me. And I said, now you can't do what you did with your sister and stay in the house and not come out. You've got to keep working. You've got to keep doing the things to help others. Well, my nerves got bad. And I went to the doctor. And the doctor said to me, what I'm going to do is to give you a few pills to take and help you to feel better and to stay on your feet and be able to continue exercising. Well, I didn't want to take any pills, but I felt so bad I had to. And I took the pills, and I got myself together, and I started exercising, going out helping others again, being on different shows, doing this, doing that. And it was a joy back exercising. So time went on. And then my son was so happy that I was still doing these things. He said, Mom, I'm so proud of you. I hope that you will continue doing this for the rest of your life. I said, Michael, I will do the best that I can. There was a young lady. Her name is Victoria Graham. I trained her somewhat, but she wanted to do, I did the bodybuilding, but she wanted to do the part where you wear the heels and strut out in those. I got her prepared, and she went to another lady who showed her how to walk in the heels and whatever. She did her show just a few months ago. I want you to know, she won first place.
Wow. That's amazing.
And guess what?
What?
She got her pro card.
Holy cow.
And she is a pro now. So whenever she goes out to do a show or anything, she'll get paid for doing that. And I thought that was the most wonderful thing in the world. And we still keep in contact. I've helped other ladies to participate in shows, but Vicki was the one who really became a pro. Then another part of my life that happened. my son, well, he was just so proud of me. He took care of the house. He paid the bills. I didn't have to do anything but go to the gym, go walk, just have fun. But it just so happened that he got a cold. And when he got this cold, I said, Michael, we must go to the doctor. I took him to the doctor, and the doctor said that he had RSV.
Oh, no.
So they gave him some medicine, and he came home. And I worked with him with the medication. And he complained to me that, oh my goodness, I ache so badly. Gosh, I don't know what's going on. He coughed, he did everything. I said, well, we're not going to go through this. So what I did, I called the ambulance. They came and they got him. And he was in the ambulance on his stomach, and they let me go in the ambulance in the room with him. And I prayed while he was in there. We got to the hospital. They took him in. They said, I don't think he's going to make it. I said, not my baby. You can't mean that. They said, no, I don't think he's going to make it. And February the 18th of this year, my Michael Jerome Shepherd died and went to heaven. Oh. Well, I just didn't know what to do. I just cried, because then I said, now I don't have anyone. What am I going to do? And I would be home, and I'd cry every night, which I still do. But I know I have the good Lord on my side. And I knew he loved God, and so did his father. So I got to thinking, saying that he's with his dad now, and they are having a wonderful time in heaven. But again, I was just didn't know what to do. And then the doctor increased me with another pill, and I took that. And that helped me somewhat. But I noticed that the pill put some weight on me. And I knew that I would have to get this weight off. So now I'm working out, working hard, trying to get my body back into the shape that I had. I still lift my weights. I still do the things that I do. But I miss my son very much. And I'm so grateful that I have people in my life like Chauncey Whitehead, who helps me. He helps me tremendously. And I'm back at the gym helping as many people as I can. Because as long as I live, I made a promise to my sister. I made a promise to my husband. I made a promise to my son that I would continue doing this as long as I can. And there is no one that I can thank than the good Lord for keeping me on my feet. I get up, I walk, I do my exercises, I take the people out, and we have a wonderful time. And I intend to do this until the good Lord takes me away. And I want everyone listening to me to know that what I do is not a joke. It's for real. Because I love everyone. I couldn't do it if I didn't love people and if I hadn't loved my family. So, Justin, I thank you for having me here to speak and to let people know the way that I'm living my life. And I hope and pray that God will allow me to live much longer, to help as many people as I can to live a healthy, happy, positive, confident lifestyle. I don't know you, Justin. I've just met you. But I love you.
Love you too, Mother Ernestine.
And you are a wonderful person. And it's a joy to have the opportunity to sit here and talk to most of these people. And if you have any other questions to ask me, feel free to ask me, because I'm ready to answer anything.
If somebody were to look back at the 87 years of your life thus far and the years ahead, what's the moral of your life story that you want them to take away?
The moral of my life story would be that I lived and to help people live a healthy lifestyle. You may have many, many problems, but you can get over them. Look at all that I've gone through. And today, I find myself sitting here, traveling, after I lost my son, who I love so much. It hasn't even been 5 months, and I'm sitting here talking because I want people to really know, don't end your life by not doing something to help yourself and help others. And exercise is very, very important.
Mother Ernestine, if there's somebody who is listening to this and doesn't know where to begin in improving their life and their fitness, what words of wisdom would you have for them?
The first thing I would tell them is to make up their mind that they really want to do this. And then find a trainer, not just anybody, a good trainer who would know how to start working out with them. Know that you don't just, if you're going to start walking, you don't start going out for your first walk trying to do an hour's worth of walking. You take your time. You walk for 15 minutes for a while. Even with lifting your weights, you don't start out lifting heavy weights. You start out lifting light weights. And then you have to know that you have to drink plenty of water. But don't start trying to drink a half a gallon of water in the beginning, because your system isn't going to take it. You have to start out slowly. And then don't forget, you've got to pray. Prayer is very important. I may keep saying that over and over again, but prayer is very, very important. And then, once you get yourself into shape, then make sure you help someone else too, because it goes on and on, each person helping each other to live a healthy, happy, confident lifestyle.
Mother Ernestine Shepard, thank you so much for joining us today on the Better and Longer podcast. You are an inspiration. You look amazing. You are amazing. And you're an inspiration to everyone who's had the pleasure of having this encounter with you. So thank you so much for sharing your time, your passion, and your experience with us today.
But Justin, may I say one thing before I leave?
Please.
For beautiful eyes always look to make someone happy. For beautiful lips only speak words of kindness. For poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never, ever alone. I love you, love you, love you, and God bless.
God bless you, Mother Ernestine. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you all the best as you continue to inspire everybody that you encounter with your physical fitness, with your passion, with your prayer, and with just the way that you're living your life as a living testament for what it's like to be living better and longer. Thank you, listeners, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Better and Longer podcast.